Our next Monday night show is in its third episode, so it's junior episode, and it is another one of our favorite superheroes. It is Supergirl. Supergirl. The second episode, the sophomore episode, wasn't as exciting as the first one, but this one brought it back up to the up curve, and I was very happy about that. At the end of last week's episode, Supergirl Supergirl decides to. Wow, I just drew a blank. To give her expose interview with Kara's boss, thus helping exposure for National City's leading newspaper to basically go head-to-head with the Daily Planet and the Man of Steel. And apparently the expose, we get to see the actual interview, and Supergirl tells all. Probably a little too much all. She reveals her relationship to the Man of Steel. We as the viewers knew that Supergirl is in fact cousins with, so Kara-El and Kal-El, or Kara Zor-El and Kal-El are in fact cousins. We knew that, but they didn't. But now they do know. So now we know that there's a family affair going on between the Kryptonians and Earth. Ooh la la. That made it sound creepier than it actually should be. However, yes, there is a relationship, not the kind that we're looking for, but they are cousins. We are faced with a new foe who happens to not be part of the escaped prisoners from the ship that crashed along with Kara's ship. We find a new villain, a human villain in Reactron. Reactron is Superman's. It's not his weakness. There's no kryptonite. I kept saying Kryptonian stone. It's actually kryptonite. How dumb am I? Anyway, no kryptonite on him. However, he has a uranium core in which gives him powers of like nuclear blast. Kind of awesome for a human being, but you know, I'm just a dude in a basement, really. So yeah, that's all I got going on here. However, Reactron has faced the Man of Steel a couple of times, and Jimmy Olsen had said, listen, Superman was never able to defeat him. Now, Superman works alone. However, Supergirl has a team. She's got James Olsen, Jimmy Olsen. She's got her sister, who's part of a larger organization that deals with aliens. But however, this time, Reactron is a human, so they don't deal with it at all. He is a human. They only deal in the extraterrestrial, which was interesting because I figured they would make an exception because he had extraterrestrial type powers. I mean, who walks around shooting giant beams of nuclear power at people? But Supergirl must handle it on her own, but with the help of people behind her. Figuratively behind her. So now, and there's a lot of feels going on between Winston, who is the techie kind of geek guy in Supergirl's little clan, and Jimmy Olsen and Kara. Kara loves Jimmy, Win loves Kara. Kara doesn't really notice Win that way. Jimmy kind of has feelings for Kara, we think. However, that gets kiboshed when at the end of the episode we meet Lucy Lane. Now, if y'all don't know the Lane last name, that's Lois's younger sister. Lucy Lane comes back and says, and apparently her and Jimmy, her her and Jimmy used to be engaged. The big one. However, not so much. But anyway, so Win can't help but enjoy the argument that Jimmy and Kara have, and Jimmy lets the cat out of the bag, and he sits there and he says, "Clark, how can you do this to Clark?" Well, Win didn't know that Clark Kent over at the Daily Planet is Superman. So his reaction was priceless. I laughed hysterically when Win found out. He's like, Clark's? No. Wait, Clark? Clark Kent. Man of Steel Clark? That kind of thing. And it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. It was definitely a break in the episode. Now, going back to the villain and the fight, Supergirl takes on Reactron. Doesn't do too well in their first clash. Reactron figures out that his suit needs a little bit more powering up, so he kidnaps a man by the name of Maxwell Lord. Now, again, I have not read any of the comics to any of these shows, so I don't have that comic background that a lot of other nerds have. I'm just basically going off the TV shows, because this is TV talk. This isn't completely new nerd talk. It's just TV talk. The nerd in me wants to make the correlation between Maxwell Lord to that of Lex Luthor. Maxwell Lord is the National City's version of Lex Luthor. An evil genius, or just an arrogant genius, who's very good with technology and is like the owner of $1 billion company, tech company, science company of that sort. So he is kidnapped by Reactron, and Reactron tells him that Maxwell Lord, Mr. Lord, must come together and help update his suit. And thus Kara, figuring out this whole thing, she figures out where Reactron is staying and goes to save Maxwell Lord. Now, in this second fight, Reactron's suit is a little stronger, and he's a little bit more powerful, and he's able to injure Kara, even for just a second, but able enough to injure her where she starts fainting and sort of passing out. And in this state of losing consciousness, we see a familiar figure. We see a familiar silhouette, a familiar color, a familiar being, and that is the Man of Steel. No face, because this show, although they haven't specifically come out to say that Supergirl is tied into the DCCU, unlike Arrow and the Flash, Supergirl is kind of facing at the same level as Superman. So maybe, hopefully, one day we will get to see the face of this Superman, and hopefully, maybe, possibly, it'll be Henry Cavill. That's just hopefully, because to me, it just makes more sense to put it all together. It makes more sense to kind of go the Marvel route and have characters from the movies come back and interact with those in the TV show. It doesn't necessarily have to be Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot and whoever's playing Aquaman and Ezra Miller as the Flash. It doesn't have to be all of them. But if you're talking so darn much about Superman in the Supergirl show, and you've got a perfectly decent Superman just chilling, you might want to use them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You ripped my heart out when you didn't use a good Flash and a good Arrow, but maybe hopefully you'll fulfill my nerd fantasy, and give me hope that maybe the Superman you use, if you ever want to show his face. I do like how every time we see him, it's either a silhouette or a blur or something. So I'm perfectly happy with that. But I just want everybody to know at CBS, at DC, that please show a little consistency. I mean, you're doing a great job with the CW and the DC shows over on the CW. You're doing a fantastic job with that. But, okay, it's on a different network. Supergirl's on a different network. Why don't you just put Henry Cavill in that one and we'll just call it a day? He comes in, does a couple things, does the pose, sits there, and he's done. That's it. Good. Collect your paycheck and head on out. So Superman does come and save the day. Kara doesn't like that. But unlike her cousin, she relies on the people around her to help her out. So she goes back to her sister, gets help from her sister's team of DEO agents, and figures out that if you pull the reactor from the suit will no longer work. I mean, it seems childish. However, that is basically what happens. She wins the fight. Reactron is jailed. Yay! But yeah, Supergirl. It was a great episode. The emotion was there. The action was there. It felt like this episode maybe should have gone after the second episode. However, storyline wise, the episodes are in the order that they should have been. But as far as excitement goes, I really like this episode a little. I really like this episode a little bit better than the first one, but definitely better than the second one. So it was highly a stimulating episode, and thus piquing my interest yet again. And I'll be back for next week to talk about it. But Supergirl seems to be doing well, and I hope other people agree. I hope you agree. My community, my growing community. Thank you so much for the people that have been following me tonight, that were coming in earlier, that were leaving out. Hey, it's all about me and you guys. And this is a conjoined thing. And I want to say thank you very much to all of you. That being said, we're going to jump into our final show of the evening. And it was also the show that came out on Tuesday. It was a great episode because they got to show the main villain. I'm so excited. Oh, maybe I should tell you guys what it is. It's not that at all. It wasn't Supergirl. Nope, it's the Flash. Oh, the Flash. Just the title of the episode itself was called Enter Zoom. Wait, hold on. Enter Zoom. I gotta get a voice changer so it could be like Enter Zoom. Something like that. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, you are evil. Just evil. Um, more information comes out about the more information that comes out about Zoom, the more mystery kind of surrounds Zoom. Like, you gain a piece of information, you lose a piece of information, or you gain another question about other pieces of information. It's a vicious cycle that the people at the Flash are pulling on us. Now, last week's episode, they captured another metahuman from Earth 2 as she was trying to attack her Earth 1 doppelganger, Dr. Light. And she had mentioned that the doppelgangers, the Earth 2 doppelgangers that are metahumans, are killing their Earth 1 counterparts to hide from Zoom, to basically, you know, at first we all thought that Zoom was sending these people to kill the Flash, but then Dr. Light said, no, I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to hide from Zoom. So now we're all questioning, is Zoom so bad that everybody is just hiding? Or just some metahumans hiding so that their powers don't get used and they die against the Flash? It's a very interesting dynamic, a very, very interesting dynamic as far as how bad is Zoom. And Harrison Wells, the new Harrison Wells, because the old one is gone, from Earth 2, comes up with the serum to basically slow down Zoom. So now what they're going to do is they're going to bait Zoom to come in. So what they were going to try to accomplish was take the new captive Dr. Light, have her fight the Flash, or make it look like she's fighting the Flash. And Zoom just wanted the emblem. The emblem was kind of like the dead to rights, not dead to rights, but the proof of death. Not proof of life, but proof of death. If she were to grab the emblem off the Flash, off Barry Allen, and give it to Zoom, that would prove that to Zoom that the speedster in Earth 1 is dead, and that Zoom is unequivocally the fastest man alive in every realm. Well, apparently part of Dr. Light's powers is the ability to bend light to become invisible. Such a shame, because we noticed that her costume is completely off, and she's completely invisible. I mean, come on, you couldn't just a little bit of that not safe for work type thing. But anyway, so now that they don't have a Dr. Light, they quickly realize, well, we don't have a Dr. Light. However, we do have a Dr. Light look-alike who isn't a metahuman but could possibly become a metahuman. So they train her. Cisco builds basically a mimic type weapon for Linda Park to use, to mimic that of Dr. Light. And she and Flash have a fight. Now, I got to tell you, their fight was staged, but it was still a better fight than Ron and Carl's fight in the Walking Dead's episode. I'm sorry, I have to say it, but the staged mimic fight between the fake Dr. Light and Barry Allen as the Flash was so much better than Ron and Carl's sissy argument in Alexandria in this week's episode of The Walking Dead. I have to say that. in hoping that this fight would draw out Zoom and Dr. Harrison Wells and Detective Joe could possibly slow down Zoom as he enters, and thus capturing and maybe killing Zoom. Things don't go according to plan, and as Linda is talking to Iris, enter Zoom. Zoom kidnaps her to get the attention of Barry Allen. Well, Zoom succeeds, whereas Barry Allen and everyone don't. And Zoom, we find out Zoom is, in fact, much faster, much more adaptive, and much stronger, but also much more kind of like in sync with his powers. He is able to Barry Allen does this thing that Jay Garrick taught him of how to throw his lightning bolt, how to throw his own lightning behind him. And Zoom, having known that this was coming, was able to pick it up or grab it and just throw it right back at the Flash, thus knocking the Flash out, thus pretty much leaving him at the mercy of Zoom. Zoom knocks out Barry Allen, aka the Flash, and thus uses the Flash as kind of like he picks him up and he treats him like a doll. Like he dangles his unconscious, like lifeless, I mean he's not dead, but it like lifeless, like not really much going on, body in front of the press, the police, and then eventually the team over at Star Labs, and says, listen, the one man that you had that could have possibly maybe attempted to defeat me is no match for me. And you just got to sit there and go, like, I felt bad that, I mean, that's what you're supposed to feel. Your hero is now like lifeless in this dark demon's hands and just being waved around like it's nothing. And he's telling everyone that he's disappointed, but he is the fastest man alive. And the Zoom then stabs Barry Allen with his own hand. I mean, that's some like next level kind of anime stuff where he just right into him, pulls it out. Harrison Wells gets the gun that he needs with the serum, shoots Zoom, but Zoom is still fast enough to get out of there. So tensions are now high. Barry Allen is out for the count. It's just a weird dynamic, and now Zoom is out there, and we find out Cisco now knows how to use his own powers of being, I like to call being the fly on the wall, because it's not like he gets to tell the future. He just, if he touches someone or touches an object that belongs to someone, he gets a sense of, he becomes a fly on the wall to that person. So if he were to touch my water bottle or the microphone or something like that, he would be able to tell something I did today that was good or bad, something that may have happened at work, or something I may have said or done that was important to something rather or another. When I was on the phone with either the wife to be or on the phone with my mother or something like that. Like, that's what Cisco is. He's the fly on the wall. And he does that. He touches Harrison Wells after a couple of attempts of trying to, but finally touches him and realizes that there's more at stake for Harrison Wells from Earth 2 than he's letting the team know. And you could tell that the reason this is a really good reason as to why Harrison Wells is so engulfed in how do I put this? Consumed by Zoom, and he wants to defeat Zoom. And the reason why he came to Earth 1 in the first place was so that he can help out the Flash and the Flash's sidekicks and partners in defeating Zoom, because he felt Barry Allen is the Flash, is the one that will help Harrison Wells take care of Zoom. Now, Zoom has something over Harrison Wells. Zoom has kidnapped Jessie, who happens to be Harrison Wells' daughter in Earth 2. Or Earth 2's Harrison Wells. Harrison Wells in Earth 1 is gone. So I know I keep saying Earth 2 Harrison Wells, but for those of you who are like, well, wait, Harrison Wells doesn't have legs, blah, blah, blah. That's Earth 1. He gone. He is gone. So now we're dealing with... Excuse me. Woof. Late night last night with work. He has a reason to fight Zoom, and he has a pretty darn good reason to fight Zoom. So Harrison Wells is relying on those in Earth 1 to help him with his fight against Zoom, and hopefully get his daughter back. I hope he uses Cisco to help. I hope he uses... I don't know. Yeah. There are going to be a couple of crossover episodes of The Flash and Arrow, which I'm super excited about. It should be an interesting season, because we've got so many more metahumans coming from Earth 2. I don't know. I'm not too sure if they're going to help or hinder that of Barry Allen, or help or hinder Zoom in the whole thing. Right now, everyone we've seen have been on Zoom's side or have been running from Zoom and have inadvertently tried to take out the Flash, Barry Allen and the Flash. The only one successfully to do it thus far is Zoom, and we find out that the damage that Zoom had done to Barry Allen is quite more extensive than we originally thought. And I'm going to throw this up just in case. I'm going to throw up the spoiler alert. I'm going to throw it up so that you guys can hear this. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Here's another spoiler alert for you. Don't worry, I don't like to do the laugh twice. I hit the wrong button. My bad. It's all about buttons, folks. We find out at the very end of the episode, when Barry Allen wakes up from his unconsciousness, that he can't feel his legs now. I mean, I sat there, I was like, that's not good. Help in aisle 4. Barry Allen can't feel his legs. Barry Allen basically uses his legs all the time. A little scary. Little scary. But anyway, come back in, folks. Come back in if you aren't listening. It is safe now. It is safe. Yeah. So, Barry... I don't know. We'll have to see what's going to happen in next week's episode, which, again, a lot of these shows are going into their winter breaks. So the episode is, everything is coming to, not coming to an end, but coming more into a kind of just like an ellipsis. It's just... A lot of these shows are going to come to their ... And a lot of these mid-season finales are usually sometimes a little bit better than than the regular season finales. I mean, yes, that's just to make people more excited. I know every time that The Walking Dead at least goes into its mid-season finale, people are like, I can't wait for February to come back so that we get more Walking Dead. In fact, there's plenty of people out there that do their, would rather The Walking Dead over Halloween kind of stuff. But hey, that's what it is. I'm excited to get some of these mid-season finales up and going. Not excited for them to go into winter break, not at all. But that gives me time to catch up on some other TV shows. I've been reading that Aziz Ansari's Netflix show is awesome, and it's 10 episodes long. So hopefully we'll be able to binge watch that, maybe get through it all. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know what else I should talk about. Legends of Tomorrow, which is another DC show, and it stars Brandon Routh coming back as Ray Palmer, Adam, from Arrow. So that should be interesting to watch. It also brings in some of the other people together. Plus, it brings 2 new characters together that will be part of that crossover episode of Arrow and The Flash. We'll see more about Gotham and the rise of the villains as we see possibly more to do with Indian Hills. I hope I like, again, with the new casting news of Mr. Freeze and Dr. Hugo Strange, it does look like we're going to definitely get a look at this Indian Hill, because they gave us a taster, and I want more. I want more. Also, The Walking Dead had a huge announcement this week. They announced that the baddest of badasses, this is a quote from one of my friends, the baddest of badasses in the Walking Dead comics is making his the small screen debut. Negan has been casted. Now, for those of you who know the comics, know the Walking Dead comics, I have to say, I'm sorry that they casted it after what happened in the TV show. Maybe by chance the TV show surprises us and goes back to the line of the comics. However, I don't think it'll do that. But whatever, don't worry about it. Here's what we need to focus on. He's been casted. Negan's been casted. Can't wait to see how they bring him into the show. Again, I don't really read the comics. I read the... I watch TV shows. I love reading. I do love reading comics. I read the Star Wars comics that are canon to between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. I read the book. I love the comics that have to deal with the Joker. The Joker is my all-time favorite character. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, I do did love what the people at Gotham did with Jerome and the idea, and I'm putting that in quotations, the idea of the Joker. I thought that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Could not have done a better job myself unless I was putting the Joker in it myself. Still probably didn't think I was going to do as great a job. Also super excited to see Jared Leto as the Joker in Suicide Squad. Nice. But yeah, there's a lot coming up. A lot coming up in these next couple of weeks. And it just so happens to work out beautifully that the shows are ending right when the big one comes. The big kahuna. The monster of monsters of nerd movies is coming back to the big screen, is coming back to entice everyone with the sensational beginnings of the end. And I don't mean that in a finite way, because who knows, there might be more. And I'm talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am and how overjoyed that somebody has finally decided to finish the story. Now I know we were all really let down by the prequel episodes that George Lucas had put out in the late 90s and early 2000s. However, this is different. This is completely different. This is what's going to this is what's going to make us feel like how everybody felt back in 1977 when Star Wars A New Hope first came out. At least I hope so. I always try to find the good in people. I always try to find the good in everything. And I'm trying to find the good in this, and I'm seeing it. The trailer footage that they've released so far has been phenomenal. The pictures that they've released in all the magazines and stuff has just been riveting. And for those of you who are saying that J.J. Abrams is a bad person for not really letting go of the synopsis, or Disney is and Lucasfilm are doing that, listen, it's a fine line. It's a very fine and thin line. It's tough. It's tough. When something this anticipated is coming out, you don't want to release that much. But you also don't want to... Hi, Minor Mitch. How are you? Welcome to the stream. It's almost coming to an end, but if you got any TV shows that you're watching that you want to discuss, hey, I'm game. I'm game. I am super excited for it. And we'll start it off with my super excitement next week. Tuesday, I will 95% be sure to be streaming with everybody else in the world Star Wars Battlefront. That's right. You heard it here first tonight. I'll probably say it again on Sunday. I will know definitely by next Sunday exactly what's going on. But November 17th, 2015, Tuesday night, I will definitely be streaming Star Wars Battlefront. Because I don't know about you guys, but I really want to be in the Battle of Jakku. Just want to be in the Battle of Jakku. You know, I'll take Hoth. I'll even take Endor. I'll take the Battle of Endor. I thought it was a great battle, but I want to say goodbye to social life and goodbye to everybody that I love and cherish. I'm really super excited for all things Star Wars coming out. Family Guy. I don't watch Family Guy live. That's one of my shows that I kind of watch in the background when I'm cleaning and stuff like that. But I do love it. A lot of the jokes are cool. I love the cutscenes. I actually really like Seth MacFarlane's cartoon Clavicade of Cartoons. That's what the name of it is. If you like the cutscenes of Family Guy, you would love Seth MacFarlane's cartoons of Clavicade of Cartoons. Family Guy is a superb show. Haven't watched it in a while, but I always see clips because they've always got jokes. Seth's always got jokes. So that's it. That is it for TV talk tonight. Wow. 2 hours flew by. I want to thank everybody tonight who followed. Who are you guys? Sneaky Devil 132, Erebus Vision. Thank you so much for hitting the follow button. Remember, it's right there. It is right there. It's like a little heart. It's like a little. Oh, my finger got cut off. It's right there. It's a little heart. It says follow. Just hit the follow button. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Hit the follow button. You can follow me on Twitter at the New Nerd N Town. I can't afford the I. Here's all the social stuff right there. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/The New Nerd in Town. Twitch, I stream Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I talk about shows. Wednesdays, I talk about shows from Sunday to Tuesday. And then on Sundays, I talk about the shows from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This Sunday, we're going to be talking about Arrow, which is going on right now, and also American Horror Story, which is also going on right now. God, I hope there's more serial killers in American Horror Story. I thought that was a lot of fun 2 weeks ago. Oh, Devil's Night is the best. Devil's Night is the best. Also, How to Get Away with Murder, and there's a special treat that I'm going to let you know about right now. And one of the absolute special treats, going back to Star Wars, tomorrow night during TGIT, thank God it's Thursday on ABC. If you're a Shonda Rhimes fan, I'm sorry, but Star Wars is releasing a little bit more footage, apparently. Don't know if it's a trailer. It's another TV spot because there's no more trailers coming out. They are done with trailers. Although after J.J. Abrams said that, another trailer came out. However, they are done with trailers. So it might be another TV spot. For those of you who are fans of Star Wars, you have to try to get through Scandal and Grey's Anatomy and How to Get Away with Murder. Now, I'm hoping to God that it will be during How to Get Away with Murder, because that's my favorite Shonda Rhimes show, because I can't watch the other two. I'm sorry, it's just how I feel. The other two, I tried with Grey's Anatomy, and it's just too much gushiness. Too much gushiness. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. But anyway, follow me on Twitter at the New Nerd N Town. All one word, at the New Nerd N Town. I will let you go. I will let everybody know as soon as I know when the Star Wars will come out, what show it will be coming out during, so that you don't have to sit there and watch 3 hours of Shonda Rhimes. For those of you who really like Shonda Rhimes and want to watch all 3 hours of Shonda Rhimes, you're going to get an extra treat, because not only are you going to get 3 hours of Shonda Rhimes, you're going to get a little Star Wars in there. It's just because ABC and Lucasfilm are both owned by Disney. That's pretty much where it is. But anyway, tomorrow night, 8 to K-Bear 619000. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm just about to end, unfortunately. But anyway, K-Bear, if you're a Star Wars fan, like I am, you're going to watch tomorrow night. Also, be on the lookout for any great TV shows. Let me know. Follow me on Twitter. Go check out my page on Facebook, facebook.com/the New Nerd in Town. If you like tonight's stream, go check out my VODs. YouTube, just type in the New Nerd in Town in the search. I'll just pop up. You'll see my crazy looking Bitmoji. And if you don't have time to watch my videos, I'm on iTunes and Google Play Music. I got a podcast, The New Nerd in Town. Did K-Bear follow? K-Bear followed. It's going to come up. It's going to come up. It's going to come up right here. Just watch right here, folks. Watch right here. It's going to come. I just know it. I know it. It's coming. There it is. KBear619000, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Again, folks, it's right here. It's like right here. Just hit that follow button. I will love you forever. I'll still love you forever, even if you don't. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight. I love everybody out there. I love television, and I especially love you. I want to thank everybody for following tonight. KBear61900, Erebus Vision, and Sneaky Devil. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on YouTube. Go find me on iTunes. I'll put all the links up. I'll tweet them out after the show. Podcast will be up tomorrow. VODs from tonight's episode will be up tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you and good night. You are all wonderful, wonderful people.